Authorizing. 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 Authorizing.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in for episode 6 of Pinstripes Uncensored. I'm Chris CK. That's my guy, King of the Pinstripes, and we have a special episode for you.
It's going to be a special one.
Season's about to start. Been waiting all year for this. I can't wait. What's your feelings?
My feelings, like I told you, taking it one day at a time. All I know, I'm excited.
We got a special guest for you in the honor of March being Women's History Month. We got a content creator, a business owner, and a podcast host. She does it all. She has a clothing line, 108 Stitch Co., which designed this awesome Luke Weaver shirt.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I was done my intro, but that works too. I was like, you're a reporter for ONNJ Sports, has her own company, Babes Media. She might be Superwoman part-time because she does it all. Her name is Jonna Perlinger of Babes Media. Hail to the Queen.
Oh my gosh. Thanks so much, you guys. That was quite the introduction.
That's what I do. That's what I did for Luke. I got to do for you too. All right, well, let's get right into it. So tell the people who you are. I mean, I gave you a pretty good introduction, but is there anything else you need to add?
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. I don't have much to add. We can dig into it as we go along. But yeah, like as you said, I do a lot of podcasting. I write for On New Jersey. I'm just dabbling in like every possible thing that I can because I love this sport so much and I love this team more than like life itself. So.
All right. Well, besides the Yankees, what other sports teams do you like or a fan of?
So I am from Nebraska, and so here we have nothing but college sports. I'm very into Husker baseball, basketball, volleyball, all of that. I was a Nuggets fan growing up as an NBA fan, which has been fun the last few years because they've really picked it up again. And I really enjoy college baseball. And so like living in Omaha, I get to go cover the College World Series every year. I've been able to do that the last couple of years, and that's been so cool. The best experience of my life, honestly, because it's given me access to, interview players like Paul Skenes and Dylan Cruz, and to like see where they are now is very cool.
Awesome. Well, speaking of Paul Skenes, my guy here had a question about that.
Yeah, shoot.
So who was your favorite player you met or interviewed?
Interviewed, that was like nothing really tops my experience with Paul Skenes. That summer was awesome. But sorry, you're just asking like favorite player I've met? Yeah. I would say like between him and Dylan Cruz, who also I met Jim Liritz a couple of summers ago, and he was really cool too.
And you know Jim
like
Liritz.
Not living, on the East Coast, like I don't get to go meet all these players all the time. So like you should feel very lucky because you are.
See, CK, he's a celebrity. I'm lucky.
I know. Both of y'all are like local celebrities.
Picking up about the college game, how does the college game compare to an MLB game or like as a fan?
It's so different because like 90% of these guys aren't really like you'll never hear their name again. You know what I mean? But there's still like such a deep appreciation for what they do. It's just like such a slower pace. And I mean, you recognize like the talent, they really stand out. Like the Paul Skenes of the world, like really, really stand out in that setting, but it's still really cool.
All right. Well, as we mentioned that you're a successful content creator, writer. So who are your like biggest inspirations in sports media or who like you looked up to?
oh gosh, Susan Waldman, Meredith Morocco, like all the women in sports, right? Like Rachel Balkovic, who was in the Yankees coaching system, she coached the Tampa Tarpons for a while. She managed them. And now she's moved on to the Marlins organization, which is unfortunate, I think. But she's from Omaha and actually grew up and went to high school literally like 2 miles from where I live. So she is also another one that I've followed and admired for quite a while.
Okay.
So I have a question. How did you get into baseball and what sparked your passion for the Yankees?
So I was totally born into it because my parents or my dad grew up a really big fan, and he was growing up right after the Mantle and Maris chase. And I actually had him on my podcast one time because my dad's not really one that spills. He doesn't really talk about his childhood, and he doesn't really spill these kind of stories. So you kind of have to pull it out of him. And I was like, Dad, how did you even become a fan? Because I don't even know, but then it's so ingrained in me. I need to know this. So he was second grade or so. I checked out a book from the library, and it was about the Mantle and Maris chase. And he's like, I just was obsessed from then on. And he played, sports nonstop and really liked baseball. And so then, fast forward to me being born, I was still in the womb, and my parents took my siblings to a game against, I think, the Astros, and it was at the Astrodome. And then, so I wasn't even born yet. And then when I was 6 months old, I went to my first game in Kansas City. So anytime the Yankees were in Colorado or, Kansas City, anywhere we could drive to, my parents would take us, which, I'm very, very grateful for, because that meant we only got to go to games sometimes every couple of years. But that was enough for me to be hooked. But the really defining moment was I was 6, and this was coming out of the 95, the strike, the 94 strike. And so then going into the 95 season, the Rockies were just opening Coors Field. And so before the season started, they had a little exhibition game with the Yankees. So this was the first game ever played at Coors Field. And Buck Showalter was the manager then. We got there early, I'm this little girl in my getup. You've seen this picture because I post it on Twitter and stuff all the time. It's me in my jersey and my hat and everything. And Spike Owen was on the team at the time. I mean, you guys remember him being a big figure in the 95 team, but he broke a bat during batting practice, and Buck Showalter brought it to me, handed it to me, and I still have it to this day. I don't have it at my house, which is wild. My parents still have it at their house, but I also got a ball that day, and my brother, who was older than me, had to have just been what the hell, because I'm leaving with a bat and a ball, just this little girl. And but that was I wish I could tell Buck Showalter what that day did for me, because from then on, I was just everything was baseball for me. And I played softball, my dad always coached us, and we were always the Yankees. And yeah, I mean, obviously coming right out of that was when the Yankees went on their tear of the 90s. And so it's just everything just happened, in the best timing possible for me.
So we're going to make that happen for you. Since CK is a celebrity, we're going to speak with Buck. Chris, we got to make it happen. We got to talk to Buck and tell him that story.
Chris, pull your connections here for me. I always wanted to tell him how that impacted me, because players have no idea how it impacts a little kid when you even just acknowledge them, but let alone an autograph or a ball or let alone a bat. So I carry this bat around when I'm little, take it to show and tell to school. I would always set it by the TV during the 96 through, 2000, all those playoff seasons. And it was my lucky bat.
All right. Well, speaking on heartfelt moments, let's talk about the Luke Weaver shirt. So what
Yeah.
process went into designing it? What was like your thoughts when I asked you I need to share for Luke Weaver, and when he found out that I put it in his hands? Well, like what was like your like initial thoughts?
When you reached out to me, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he trusts me to do this. Like, what? And so I don't know. I just had to put the parental advisory stamp on there. I don't know why, but like he's just that kind of figure where I'm like, I don't know. It just goes with the flow, I guess. But no, we pulled it off. You pulled it off.
We pulled it off. And Luke, if you're watching,
it's really cool to see you and others. Like, I don't know if you guys know Ethan Busa, I think is his last name.
Yeah, that's my guy. I seen him at Stadium a lot.
Yeah,
No,
like a bunch of you guys will wear my stuff at the stadium, and that's like the most rewarding thing ever to see that. It's really cool.
Now the other question is, when am I going to get a shirt?
When you drop your address in my DMs.
Okay. I'll be waiting for a shirt so I could rock it at Yankee Stadium and show it off.
Perfect.
And a question for you, Ann. What player are you getting?
Which player?
Yeah.
Wow. I'll maybe I put a heart and then Luke Weaver's face on it.
Love it.
I heart Luke Weaver.
No, that's my shirt.
No.
I should just start coming up with like the goofiest designs I can think of for Luke Weaver just because it fits, you know?
I'll say either between Aaron Judge or Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of which, I might
I have a
hopefully
really cool one for Jeter, by the way. Sorry, didn't mean
No,
that.
you're good. So speaking of which, at a Pinstripe Pride, I met Devin Williams and our guy Frank Luna. Shout out to him. He was friendly with Devin Williams. He actually introduced me to Devin Williams before I even introduced myself. So if Frank does an event, we got to do an Airbender shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
You got to talk to Chris Agent about it. Look at you just throwing out names, huh?
I've been telling Jonna, she got to make me a sponsored athlete.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's
and
go.
We got to get the funds and have Jonna move out here to the East Coast, and that way she can do dope content for the Yankees.
Yeah, we should just like drop it in the bottom. They could just donate, like what, $5-10,
link
anything.
to 108 Stitch Code on the bottom of the YouTube. Anthony, go put that in.
Yes, my move to New York. Let's go.
So, what made you decide to start creating baseball content, and how do you approach making your content stand out in this crowded, space?
Yeah, no, it is so oversaturated. It's crazy, and it's really hard to get your stuff like seen. But the biggest driver for me is just that like I love it. I enjoy it, and I just want to talk Yankees, and I don't care if anyone's listening to me. Like, you know, it's just it's my passion. So back in 2021, I was living in Denver at the time, and the All-Star game got moved to Denver last minute. So I got an email, along with probably anyone who, you know, gets emails from the Rockies or Denver Sports Commission, and they were looking for volunteers. And I was like, yes, sign me up. So I did. I went and volunteered, and there were 700 some volunteers total. And of the 700 plus, 30 people got chosen to go to the draft that year. So, or, you know, to like work the draft, and I got chosen. And so it was an incredible experience being the MLB draft. I met Nick Swisher. So rewind back to my favorite person I've met, probably Nick Swisher. He was so cool. We took a selfie, and then that was the year that we drafted Trey Sweeney. So I got to be like the first person when he got off stage, congratulating him and getting a selfie with him. So that was a really cool experience. And then leaving that, I was just like, this is where I shine. I love baseball, and I just need to be like immersed even more. And so that's when, and right about that time is when I really started getting a big following on Twitter. And ONNJ Jersey, the guy that runs ONNJ Sports reached out to me, and he's like, we love your content. Would you like to write for us? And so it all just like everything just kind of started falling into place. I started writing, and that was right when, so by the time I started writing was right when Judge was on his 62 chase. And so it was like that fall, and it was a really cool time to start writing for them too. And I just, then like that winter and the off season, I'm like, I need something to do. I don't have anything to write about. Like, obviously there's the hot stove going on, but I was like, I need to be even more immersed. And I started looking for like female-led baseball podcasts, and I couldn't find a whole lot out there at the time. And so, especially a Yankee one. I mean, I know there are women who do, but I couldn't find one that was like solely women. And that's when I was like, I want to provide a platform where women can come and feel comfortable speaking about baseball, and we can talk about any aspect that they want. Not like some people maybe they aren't as into like the sabermetrics as I am, but they want to talk about the experience of just going to the game and like whatever, the outfit they wear, the food they eat when they go, or I don't know, just the connections that they've made. And so my scope wasn't just, at the time, it wasn't focused on just the Yankees. It was baseball, anything and everything baseball. And so when I started the podcast, I was casting a really broad net. And I wanted to talk to people behind the scenes. Like, I brought on the organist from Wrigley Field, talked to him about his role. And he had some really, really cool things to say about how players come to Wrigley Field and he'll like make a play on their name. And, whatever song that comes to mind is like a play on their name, and see if they catch on to it. Things like that you would never think that goes into the game of baseball, right? And baseball is the coolest sport in the world. Like, there's just so many aspects behind the scenes that other sports don't have. So that was one of them that was really cool. I had the executive director of Rickwood Field on last summer to talk about, I guess it was last winter. And so he came on and talked about all the prep that they were doing and like how they got MLB to come to Rickwood Field. That was really cool. I mean, that's the oldest ballpark in America. So just for me, like, one of the drives is just making these connections across baseball and being able to like touch, be in touch with people from every aspect. And it's been really cool. The connections I've made, people like you, that's the most rewarding part for me, honestly.
So you mentioned, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. You mentioned you don't mind, like, for you don't care if anyone is listening, right? Do you think people these days, they need likes to make themselves or like feel like they doing something, or isn't like, about the likes for you? It's more like, I'm just gonna do it because I love it. And where do you see, like, how you say, content creation going, like, moving forward? You think it's like too many out there? And
yeah, I would say for people who are just trying to like latch on to this as a full-time career, that can probably be extremely discouraging when it's such an oversaturated area. For me, like, my whole mindset this whole time has just been like, if this turns into a full-time career, that's like all I could ever dream of. And that's just a silver lining, I guess. But baseball is the only thing I could say this about in the entire world, that I am happy to just be doing it. I don't care about likes. I don't care about if it turns into a full-time career, because baseball is so ingrained in me and it's my biggest passion, honestly. And so I'm probably rare in that, because obviously likes feel good, right? Like, you want to know that your content is resonating with people, and that people are liking what they see, and that you're succeeding. But obviously those little small wins are really important along the way. But at the end of the day, what keeps me going is that I love it so much.
So I've noticed on your Instagram, you have a lot of jerseys. Do you have a favorite jersey, and why?
That's a good question. I have, I think
2 favorites.
Yeah, I think Judge is my favorite just
Okay, can't
because,
go wrong.
right? Like, but I also have a Cole jersey, and I love to wear that on Cole Day.
Mhm.
But yeah, I need to, as you say that, I had a Soto jersey last year, which really just pisses me off. So
What
yeah,
did he
now
do
I
with
need
it?
to. What?
What did he do with the jersey?
Well, I made a little reel out of it where I tossed it in the trash, but I dug it back out because, if Dom Smith wears 22, then I got to rock 22, right?
You know what's a DIY thing?
Oh,
Cut
yeah,
it
like
up.
a DIY thing with it.
Yeah. There you go.
I could also put an X, so it's just a Jeter jersey.
Oh,
No, I actually, speaking of which, I cut up an old Bader jersey or last weekend because I ordered this jersey. I swear I just ordered it with 22. It had Bader's name on it. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this thing? And it came literally like the week after we put him on waivers. So he was already gone anyway. So I cut the jersey up and I made a jacket out of it. So that's another thing I like to do in addition to like graphic design, making t-shirts. I like to craft. And so I'll like make my own jackets and stuff out of old jerseys, old t-shirts, things like that.
I might need to buy a jacket. I'm wearing the same golden jacket. I'm wearing the same golden jacket all the time. So I might need to hook you up. You might need to hook me up with something.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. Let's go.
you said putting an X on it. Who's your X factor for this season?
Ooh.
That's a good question. Ben Rice.
Yes. Benny goes boom.
Yep. Ben Rice. I'm rooting for him. Although Waldo is always my X factor year after year after year because I love him so much and I just want him to succeed more than anything. Like, I don't know another guy out there that puts on a bigger smile just to be there. And you can tell like he loves being a Yankee. He loves the game, loves the sport, and he's willing to play anywhere and just do anything just to be on the team and and to play. Like, he has the best attitude ever. So Waldo, but yeah, Ben Rice.
Waldo's actually the best human being on planet Earth. We both met him I met him multiple times. You met him multiple times. And best human being on planet Earth. Like, you remember if you meet him once. He's great with the kids, adults, everything. And congrats to him on getting the engagement. No, not a better human being. Leonard, I'm wishing him like a life filled with happiness because he truly deserves it.
Yeah, totally agree. Last summer, I went to the whole Kansas City series and sat right behind. One of the nights I was first row behind the dugout. One of the nights I was second row behind home plate. But the night that I was first row behind the dugout, I was FaceTiming with Madison, Major League Mad.
Yes, love her.
Yeah, I was FaceTiming with her, and obviously she's good friends with Waldo. And so he was like running in from the field, and I was like, Waldo, I'm FaceTiming Mads. And like, he's like, hey, Madison. It was just really cool that he acknowledged her and is like right in the middle of the game. And she's just such a cool guy.
You know what? We gotta hook up Waldo with a shirt. With one of the ONNJ Sports go. There we go.
There we go.
So I was gonna say, it's crazy. I never met her before.
What?
I know who she is due to everyone reposting her videos, but I've never, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I never met her before.
That is
she was at
wild.
Pinstripe Pride. She was at Pinstripe Pride that Saturday that I was there, though.
Yeah. Well, shout out to her because, like I said, it's content creating. It's very tough. We do it because we love it, but it goes back to the likes. And sometimes when you don't see enough likes, it's like, what am I doing wrong? Should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I continue doing this? So it's like, shout out to her. And obviously, to you for doing what you two do for Instagram, and all platforms.
Back at you. I love you guys' stuff. And I think one of the things that's actually been bothering me lately is like, I live in the Midwest. And so I don't have access to the players. I can't go to these like events off the cuff things like that. And I feel like that's the stuff that resonates with people a lot. Like if you're able to go to the games in the stadium a lot and get that content and go to those player events, that stuff just takes off. And so that's one of the things that's been bothering me a little bit lately. Like, is anyone going to keep following me because I don't have like real content, you know?
I actually have a fun question for you. So you're whatever stadium Yankees are playing, who is pitching and who is hitting the game-winning home run or a walk-off hit? We got a guy right here. I don't know. Your choice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Garrett Cole's starting for me. And it's a Stanton walk-off. And it's not just
That's
a
good.
walk-off, it's a granny.
In the World Series.
Yes.
Where he performs. Well.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna get to the fun part. You want to get to the fun part? I have some questions for you. There's gonna be a chain reaction.
Ooh.
You might get mad at me. People might get mad at you, but guess what? Who cares? Let's just enjoy and have a great time. I came up with a few games for you to answer if you really want to, but it's start, bench, and cut.
Oh,
So
God.
who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you going to cut? I have 3 names: Aaron Judge, Babe Ruth, or Derek Jeter.
Okay.
Oh, it's
All
gonna
right.
be really fun.
Okay. I'm starting Derek Jeter.
Yes.
I'm benching Aaron Judge. I'm cutting Babe Ruth. Why? Because it's a different game these days.
Yes.
He's smoking and drinking like during the game, so he's cut.
Oh, that's a tough one. I honestly, I really don't know how you answer that one.
Well, okay. Also, my reasoning for playing Jeter over Judge, like, let's just look at the postseason.
I'm gonna piggyback off your answer, and I'm gonna give them reasons too. You got 2 captains, 2 high character guys as well. So there you go, and 2 players that show great leadership. Because I've seen last season, Judge was not afraid to go up to Glaber to tell him you got to hustle, and he was not afraid to go up to Stroh to like settle down. So I like that answer. You got 2 captains and 2 players with great leadership.
Babe Ruth is so pissed off at you too.
Oh my God. You guys, I got to tell you, well, speaking of Babe Ruth, so when I was little, I thought that if I wrote a letter to Babe Ruth, that it would get to him in heaven, right? So like my brother convinced me, like, yeah, if you just go, you gotta go leave it on your dresser and he'll write you back. But like you have to go by yourself, because I was scared to like go in the basement by myself where my bedroom was. And I was like, no, I don't want to go by myself. Like, go with me. And he was like, nope, you got to go by yourself. Drop the letter off. So I know I like sprinted up and down the stairs, dropping this letter off. And this was during the postseason. Like I must have been 6 years old then. And he wrote me a letter back from Babe Ruth and dropped it on our front doorstep. And like, that's the most kindest thing any big brother could ever do for you.
But was you scared? You were scared shit?
Oh, I was scared shitless to go by myself. But like if I get a letter back from Babe Ruth, I'm doing it, right?
So that's something out of a movie.
Well, it was right after The Sandlot, so I know that's what probably sparked me to do that.
All right, so like I said, the fun part. Top 3 favorite baseball movies. Top 3.
Nothing tops The Sandlot for me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's number 1?
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of which, I had one of the Sandlot cast members on my podcast. So you guys ever want to have one of those guys on, let me know, because I've gotten to know them.
Of course. Just bring them all, the whole entire cast. That's like my favorite one. So that's number 1. And for me, who's your number 2?
Number 2 is probably not a very common answer, but I love Trouble with the Curve. with Clint
Yes.
Eastwood. Yeah.
And
that-
Amy Adams and Justin
Yes,
Timberlake too.
Adams, exactly. And I think the reason I resonated with it so much is like this movie came out probably what do you think, like 2011, 2012, 13?
Yeah, around that time.
Somewhere in
Before, like
there.
around 2013 maybe.
Yeah, where women in baseball at that time not nearly as prevalent as as they are now. And so that movie like really inspired me.
And
I
your
was
third?
I want to be an MLB scout now. And number 3,
You should scout the Yankees. They need some help.
I know they might need some help in the Midwest. I don't know.
So what's your third one?
Number 3, probably Moneyball. I really liked Moneyball.
Okay. Can't go wrong with that.
Like the
All
answer.
right, you want to name your top 3? I'll name mine too.
Name my top 3?
Go ahead. I'm grilling you on your own show.
Why do you gotta do me like that?
Pinstripes Uncensored.
I had to do it, so you have to do it. No.
Number 3, I say Angel in the Outfield. Angels in the Outfield is number 3 for me.
That's a 90s kid staple for sure.
This is so hard. It was my questions for you. Like, how did this go back to me?
I have a top 3, so
oh man. It's so hard. Number 2 is I say it's tie. Can I do a tie?
go ahead.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
And the other one is Field of Dreams.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, come on. And number 1, of course, is Sandlot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, CK. Your turn. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback off all you 3. Sandlot's my third. I'm Indian of descent, so this one kind of hits home. It's a Disney movie called $1 Million Arm, where the Pittsburgh Pirates draft 2 Indian players, signed 2 Indian pitchers. And my number 1, I know you guys said I'm a sucker for inspirational movies. Even though he was a Tampa Bay Devil Ray, The Rookie with Jim Morris.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the fun continues. This is the one that you probably will turn off the camera and go to sleep. Because this is one that's gonna piss off one of your love of your life when it comes to the players that I'm gonna name.
Ooh.
Date, marry, and dump. That's the 3.
So we're playing the clean version.
Yeah, it's similar like start, bench, and cut, but this one is date, marry, and dump.
Okay.
Luke Weaver, Giancarlo Stanton, or Derek Jeter. Date, marry, or dump.
All right. I have it. I'm dumping Derek Jeter.
What?
I hate to say it. I really do. I hate to say it. But he's, 1, quite a bit older than me. 2, so he's going to like die off early, right?
My captain?
No, okay. The other reason why is because I think he's just a little more serious, and I just need like a little more fun.
Fine.
He's like,
so if you want to cut him, I'll take him.
He's almost a little uptight. I think I'm gonna date Giancarlo Stanton, but I don't know if he's a commitment guy, so I'm not gonna marry him. I'm marrying Luke Weaver. Why? Because sign me up for a life of laughter and fun.
You just broke CK's heart.
I know, because I stole his fans.
Still my man. Hey, you know what? The shirt was well worth it. You got the shirt, so I accept that answer.
My mind is
you
blank.
guys, I never in a million years would I have thought I would say him over Stanton, because Stanton is like he's my one true love, but I don't know if he's a commitment guy. Yeah.
All right, picking up on the fun part. You're the leading actress in the movie about Jonna, the sports reporter for the New York Yankees. Which 3 other Yankees are you picking as your co-stars, and who's directing the film?
Ooh, my co-stars. I think gotta go with Luke Weaver because he's hilarious. Like
Yeah,
it's a
okay.
comedy, obviously. This is a hard question. What's the movie about? Can we be more specific so I can?
Sure, we can spin it different ways. You could put you as a sports reporter, the leading sports reporter, or we could do Jonna, the first Yankees female manager.
Oh, okay.
So you're firing Aaron Boone?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Let's see. I'd probably put Judge in there if we're going with me as the manager.
Who can Judge act though?
That's a good point. But he doesn't have to act if he's like just playing the game.
True.
I'm just gonna roll with current players. So I'm gonna go Cole starting, Weaver closing us out, and Judge actually having a really good World Series.
Okay.
What about Juan Soto?
He's dead to me.
That's a good question.
We're playing him how about we're playing him in the Subway Series and he just totally chokes.
Yes, and Weaver strikes him out.
Yes.
All right, so let's just get into the serious questions now.
Let's go.
So, what's your take on some young players coming up in the Yankee farm?
I mean, we're gonna find out because we don't have a choice. So, but I'm actually really excited about some of them. I'm obviously really excited about Benny, as I mentioned. Yeah, Ben Rice, Dominguez. I don't know. His defense.
Spencer Jones?
I love Spencer Jones. I'm really excited about him.
Yes.
And I love the bromance that he has with Benny. So I like that. I'm excited about him. Even some of these pitchers. Obviously, Will Warren is having a really good spring training season. So, and he got a little exposure last year. Didn't go so well, but I think he's made a lot of adjustments. And I think like just working with Matt Blake more, I think he'll have a better year this year. And sometimes I think just putting them into the, like throwing them to the Wolves this year, we don't have a choice. Like, you got to step it up because we don't have anyone else. Maybe that will actually spark some success for him.
Okay, so is there a player that you want, like currently in MLB, that wished played for the Yankees?
I mean, I really, really freaking hate to go to the Dodgers, but I mean, look at who, like, it's hard not to go there with some of them. I mean, who wouldn't want Ohtani? You know? I know. It's a controversial thing because I don't even like them and I don't want to like them.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul Skenes. Let's go with Paul Skenes.
All right.
He's a likable guy.
So you mentioned the Dodgers. Let's go back to the fun part because I know Chris was pretty much pissed off at me, and Alex Day, he was pissed off at me. If Red Sox and Dodgers was playing against each other in the World Series, I'm not saying you got to wear the hat, the jerseys. Which team? Not like even like you even have to clap. Just sit down, enjoy, and you'd rather have this team win over this team? Dodgers, Red Sox. Who are you picking?
I have to say the Dodgers. I just do. I know.
Yes.
Am I the only
Yeah.
one that picks
Yeah.
the Red Sox?
Okay, like
You are the only
I'm
one.
just going based off players and like players I appreciate and admire. I love Mookie Betts. I've loved him for a really long time. He's a great guy. I know he was a Red Sox at one point. And Freddie Freeman, also a very stand-up guy. And then on the Red Sox now you have Alex Bregman, and I don't like him, and I probably never will. Even though I wouldn't have minded seeing him play third base for us, but it didn't happen. So I don't have to like him.
Well, the quest continues. Chris, someone that we get on has to say the Red Sox.
I don't think you'll
can't
find
be the
it.
only one.
I don't think you'll ever find that.
It's because that's how much I hate the Dodgers that I'd rather choose the Red Sox win.
Okay, so there's always got to be the evil empire of baseball. And for a while, it was the Astros. Now it's the Dodgers. But is that going to stick forever? No. But is our hatred for the Red Sox going to stick forever? Yes.
Who are you picking, Astros or Dodgers?
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Right now, I would honestly say I hate to say it, but I would say the Astros, I think.
Over the Dodgers?
Yes.
All right, good. Just don't bring that question like this way. Just keep it that side. I'm not going to answer it.
I mean, neither, if that's an answer, but I don't know. I respect Yordan Alvarez. I really do.
Okay.
He wasn't even a part of all that mess. Yeah, no one's going to be over Altuve. That is a good point. But
Okay.
but because he sucks so bad right now and he's really sucking it up in the outfield, I'm like, I don't hate you as much.
Who's better in the outfield, Juan Soto or Jose Altuve?
Juan Soto.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to throw that out there. I'm a shit starter, so why not?
Man, you're really throwing fire at me tonight. I like it. Let's go. I'm coming.
All right. So, who is your favorite non-Yankee?
Of all time?
Correct.
Ooh, of all time?
Or right now, and
of all time, that's a really hard question, but I really love Ken Griffey.
yes, the kid.
Mm-hmm. But to be honest, like I was such a savage little kid that I was like, if you don't play for the Yankees, then I don't like you. So, but no, I did like Ken Griffey. I really do like Mookie Betts. He's a great person. I like Justin Turner, also a really great person off the field. And I like a lot of the Phillies players too, like Bryce Harper, obviously. How can you not love that guy? And Trey Turner. I've always really liked him.
Okay.
You have another one?
Yep. This might be our last question, most heartfelt question. So, you're a successful women's writer, content creator, entrepreneur. What advice would you give to young women who aspire to have a career in sports media?
Just say yes to things. Don't be afraid to say yes or try new things. I was notorious for that growing up, but like when you find the one thing that you love, for me, it's baseball. You just like do it, you just say yes and you don't get in your own way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Awesome. We love that answer. And tell the people where they can find you on social media or how they can support ONNJ Stitch Co. or any adventures that you have going on.
So you can follow my baseball media page at Babes Media. And from there's a link and you can get to all my other pages, 108 Stitch. And I have a new page that highlights college baseball and the College World Series specifically. So you can get to all of those links from Babes Media. And then on Twitter, I mostly just tweet from my personal account, which is at 90s Yanks Kid.
Awesome. Well, this has been one of our most fun episodes. Anthony, you agree, right?
I agree.
You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for having me. This was fun.
Thank you.
Can't wait to do it again.
Appreciate it.
And we can't wait to support you and have our people support you. That way you come up to New York, meet one of us, and come to a game with us and do more content.
Yes, for sure.
And I'm going to be waiting for the shirt.
Yes. Drop your address in the DMs and we'll start working on a shirt.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Well, appreciate you, Jonna, and hope you have a great rest of the day. And let's go Yankees as always.
Bye, guys. Go Yanks.
All right. Go Yanks.
Well, this has been episode 6. Shout out to Jonna. This was a lot of fun. She's a lot of blast. Please, please, please buy a shirt from ONNJ Stitch Co. Follow her on social media. Check out what she's got going with ONNJ New Jersey. She's a superwoman and one of my favorite people I've met on the Yankee social media community. I'm sure he's one of Anthony's favorite people now meeting her. Let's get her to New York to go to a couple games and hopefully move here. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm CK. That's my guy.
King of Pinstripes, episode 6 in the books. Episode 7. Let's go.
Let's go.
Go Yanks.
All right.